Ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Whitewater Township Board of Trustees meeting. I am going to be sitting in for our president. He is off today, so I will do the best I can to get this moving along. If I could ask everybody, please, right now. Hold on a second. We need to do. Yeah, we're calling to order. Let's stand. Please do Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fiscal Officer, roll call, please.
Mr. Pope,
Here.
Mr. Shibley, and Mr. King.
Here.
You have a quorum.
If we can get acceptance of the meeting minutes for February 20, which we're not going to be able to do, Jim.
We can still approve them.
You can approve them as minutes.
We'll just approve them as minutes for
I'll make
February
a motion
20.
to accept the minutes.
We'll have to do a roll call again on that. And we're going to bypass roll call on it. Is that right?
No, you can still, and this is from the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
You're just approving the minutes. You didn't have to be here. You're just saying, yes, these are the minutes.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. Acceptance of the invoices. I will so move on the invoices.
And I will second that.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. And we'll move right into the sheriff's report, if you got something for us. Good evening, sir.
How are y'all?
Good.
Evening.
Good evening.
Sergeant Hill sitting in for Sergeant May tonight. He couldn't be here. But all I got for you is the February stats. Looks like everything was pretty calm in February. There was only one breaking and entering. 4 thefts were taken. Looks like they were all thefts of motor vehicles. 2 telecommunications fraud reports taken. 1 identity fraud. 1 domestic violence arrest. 1 violation of a protection order. 1 aggravated menacing report. 1 stolen vehicle recovery. 6 aided cases, which are typically squad runs, for a total of 20. 21 crash reports were taken, and a total of 327 calls for services. So it looked like February was fairly quiet, I guess we can say. That's about all I got. Man, I'm not used to seeing the crowd here tonight.
Yeah,
but, hey,
They all come here to just hear your report.
They came to see you.
Sergeant May set you up on this
Yeah,
one.
well, I'll be honest. You know what? I'm probably going back 15, 20 years. I walked in to do it, and I'm looking out, and I see all this crowd of people. And I'm like, all right, if you don't have nothing else, I got to, go to work. And I think it was Mr. Shibley. He goes, oh, hold on a minute. All these people out here are here to see you. I went, what the heck? But there was a rash of quad runners getting stolen. I don't know if you all remember that. About 15 years ago. People were up in arms, and so they were here. So I had to deal with that. But I think it's on a better occasion. They're all here tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're good. Yeah, we don't have anything else for
All right.
you.
I'm
the only boss on out here, so I do got to roll.
Yeah, go out there, be safe.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Yep,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, we're going to move into our public presentations. We are going to jump up and go ahead and do the swearing in of Bryce Hodap's chief. There you are. If you want to come on up and get this started, and that way we don't have to have, you folks are all welcome to stay through the whole meeting if you want, but try to at least get this out of the way so everybody don't have to hang around in here.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight is another special occasion for the fire department. We're going to swear in Bryce Hodap, our next full-time firefighter paramedic. So at this time, Bryce, if you could come forward, please. Don't fall. No, you get to stand over in the middle. That's good. There you go. Bryce started his career in the fire service here at Whitewater Township and has been with us since December of 2020. Since then, Bryce has dedicated much of his time to learning the ways of the fire service and attending paramedic school as long as other classes. Over the short time, he has become an integral part of our fire department. Bryce currently has the following certifications: Firefighter 2, EMT-B, soon to be an EMT paramedic upon completion of his class in the summer of 2023, an associate's degree in fire science, hazmat operations, and several incident command system certifications. After medic school, he would like to further his education by attending a swift water rescue technician class and the basic emergency rescue technician certification class. Bryce grew up in Green Township and has been a West Sider his entire life. In his free time, Bryce is an avid outdoorsman and spends much of his time working on vehicles and other projects. It's the running joke around the firehouse. Wonder what vehicle Bryce bought on his off days this week. He's currently working on trying to supercharge a Crown Vic. Tonight, Bryce will be pinned by one of his lifelong best friends, firefighter paramedic Matt Black. Matt is also a former full-time firefighter of Whitewater Township and has since moved on to a full-time career with North College Hill Fire Department. Matt was also the first partner that Bryce had in the fire service. Congratulations, Bryce. We look forward to watching you grow professionally and personally here with us at Whitewater Township. At this time, Fiscal Officer Jim Brett will administer the oath of office. Matt, if you could come forward also, please.
Right aside from being the fiscal officer here, I was a volunteer here back in the volunteer days, so I hope that you enjoy your time here as much as I enjoyed my time with the fire service here, and I hope you're as proud as I am of my time here when you get old enough to retire like me. So, if you would repeat after me. I, Bryce Hodat, as a public employee, I will set a good example in all actions and deeds.
I will set an example of all the actions and deeds.
I will never use my position for personal gain,
I will never use my position for personal gain,
recognizing it as a symbol of public trust.
recognizing it as a symbol of public trust.
I will constantly strive to achieve the high objectives
I will constantly strive to achieve the high objectives
and ideas of this department,
and the ideas of this department.
and shall conduct myself at all times,
I shall conduct myself at all times,
both on and off duty,
on and off duty,
in such a manner as to reflect
as such a manner as to reflect
most favorably on the department.
most favorably on the department.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and I will respect,
and that I will respect,
honor,
honor,
obey,
obey,
and enforce the laws of Whitewater Township,
and enforce the laws of Whitewater Township
for which I serve.
for which I serve.
Today I recognize
Today I recognize
the badge of my office
the badge of my office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it as a public trust.
and I accept it as a public trust.
And I hereby rededicate myself
And I hereby rededicate myself
to the citizens
to the citizens
and visitors of Whitewater Township
and visitors of Whitewater Township
to ensure their safety
to ensure the safety
in the discharge of my duties.
and the discharge of my duties.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Bryce Hodat. Welcome aboard with Whitewater.
Everyone that was here for Bryce's swearing-in ceremony, there are some refreshments down the back hall. If you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you guys can go ahead and move down that way, and they'll take care of you. Thanks, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you, everyone.
It helps me if I can see them, what they're gonna see out there too.
We can see, that's good.
Yeah.
That's why I moved over here. So
Okay, we can move along now. So I just wanted to give them a minute to clear out so we can kind of hear our next public presentation. And the next public presentation is Brad Johnson. He's the director with Hamilton County Solid Waste District. So Brad, I'll go ahead and just turn it over to you. And
Great.
sorry I can't really see you. We got a screen right here in front of me, so I got to follow.
No problem. Can you hear me okay?
that help, Doug?
Yeah.
All right, great.
No, you're good.
So yes, as you said, I'm Brad Johnson. I'm the director of the Hamilton County Department of Environmental Services. I've been in that role for about 4 years, and prior to that, I worked with Jim a little bit at the health department. I was there for 13 years. So I'm here today to represent the Hamilton County Resource. It was formerly named the Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District. That is one of the agencies that we have under environmental services. So Jim, I don't know if you have power of the slides. Yes, so that kind of just explains what we do. We did change the name a couple of years ago to reflect more of what we do. It's more than just reducing the waste. It's also about reusing, and then recycling is obviously a big part of what we do over there. So yeah, Jim, if you could go on to the next one. So kind of just to give you an idea of some of the big things that you might be aware of that Hamilton County Resource does. One of the big programs that they have is they offer grants. So the way grants work is to get infrastructure to businesses prior to them having what they need to do the recycling, or the big push we have right now is food waste. So we're giving a lot of grants out for food waste, and it could be as simple as a refrigerator, like an industrial refrigerator, to store that food prior to it going to a food bank. The goal there is 15% of our waste is actually food waste, so we're trying to prevent that from going to the landfill. So to give you an idea, some other things that we have waste reduction innovation grants. So if there's a company who has a new innovative idea as to how to recycle, that would be an opportunity to put in for a grant as well. So we provide that seed money. Another big thing that we do is we do the outreach campaigns. So if you ever see, I know Rumpke does a lot of commercials, but we also do a lot of commercials on how to recycle properly, what to put in your bin, those kinds of things. The other thing that we do with that is we actually will focus on communities. So we'll actually go in, I know this year it's Reading and North College Hill, but Whitewater Township, we work with your administration. In fact, Josh and Peggy, right? Yes. I used to do Stormwater, so I remember both of you from Stormwater. But yes, we work with your administration quite well, and I really commend them for always keeping in contact. In fact, We Thrive, you were real big in We Thrive at Public Health, so kudos to you on that too. So the other big thing that we do is the Environmental Enforcement Program. That's newer. We're a non-regulatory agency, so we can't go out and actually enforce laws, but we also realize, especially out here in Whitewater Township, there's a lot of open dumping issues. So we realize that the health department can step in, but they're also somewhat tied as to what they can't do, what they can prosecute. So we hired a deputy back in 2018, and his whole role is to go out and go after open dumping. So I don't know if, have you guys worked with, okay, Deputy Peak? Yep. So I know he works out here too. He is doing a lot in the city of Cincinnati, so we're trying to get him more focused in the township. So if you ever need Brian, don't hesitate to reach out, okay? You can always call me or Michelle, she's a solid waste manager. Do you have Brian's direct number, by the way? Okay, great. See, I knew your administration's on it. So that's the Environmental Enforcement Program. And the other big thing that you might be aware of is the drop-off programs. So that would be, for example, this weekend is the start of the yard waste drop-off. So that'll be open until December on the weekends. Now, one of the things we're looking for, and this might be something that your administration will bring up, the west side has always been a tough tough location to get a drop-off spot for yard waste. So right now it's at Oakdale Elementary over in Green Township. So it is a little bit of distance from Whitewater. In fact, that actually goes up to Agro. So if you have ideas on that, we're working on that over the next couple of years to maybe get a better location, because it's not really ideal to have a school as your drop-off site. So Jim, you can go on to the next one.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did get the flyers for that today.
Yes.
Emailed to me, and I want to put that on the website.
Okay.
But it doesn't say if there's a charge or not.
No charge.
I just think it needs to be made clear.
Okay, in it?
If there's no charge. because
Yep.
one question you wonder, well, how much is it cost me to drop it off?
That'll be the first question they ask, right? So I'll get that feedback to our communications group, and we'll get you some new information that says right on it, no charge. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Peggy. Appreciate that. Next slide, then. So what I'm here for today is to go over the solid waste plan. So the solid waste plan, it's actually required by Ohio Revised Code. It started back in the late 80s, early 90s. So every 5 years, we have to update the plan. And the plan looks at 15 years. So in 5 years, we'll be doing another plan for 15 years. It takes, believe it or not, a couple of years to write the plan. It's at 300 pages. I don't want to go over every last piece of that. I just want to give you the kind of the big details. We're at the very end. You're the last community that I'm going to give this presentation. One of the reasons I wanted to wait for Whitewater is because you do have a landfill out here, Bond Road, and I know there were a lot of questions and some residents. So we wanted to make sure we got all that feedback with the plan and incorporate as much of that into the plan as we could. So where we are with that process right now, like I said, we're at the very end. We're making the final revisions based on public feedback and the policy committee, because there's a solid waste policy committee who actually tells us what to write for this. So you can see at the very bottom there, we're at the 90-day ratification step. So we just had a policy committee last week. They decided not to vote on it. They wanted to wait till May to make sure all that feedback got incorporated into the plan. So what we'll be looking, if you go to the next slide, Jim, what we'll be looking for next is, in order for the plan to actually go through and be accepted by Ohio EPA, we need 60% of the communities, 60% of the population to actually approve the plan. 5 years ago, we had 100%, so we're always shooting for 100. I will say the city of Cincinnati is required because they're the largest municipality. You can go on then, Jim. Residential recycling incentive. Peggy, this might interest you because we're the only one in the state that has this. We've had it since the beginning of the solid waste district. One of the programs we have is depending on how much waste you divert from the landfills, we'll actually give that money back to the communities. So we actually are raising that, we're maintaining it, and then if our funding goes up, so like if tipping fees at Rumpke, if they have more tipping fees, you'll actually see that your residential recycling incentive go up with it some. So that's a new addition that we added in there. And, I put in there the minimum threshold. So Jim, you can go on to the next one. This is another area that this plan really focuses on that plans didn't focus on previously. If you think about it, most of the plans all the way through the 90s and early 2000s focused on residential recycling and residential reduction of waste. 84% of the waste produced in Hamilton County is actually from industrial and commercial. The good news, industrial, we have a very, very good diversion rate. It's up in the 70 percentile. The bad news is commercial's not that great. Residential, we've got it up. It's almost plateauing. It's still going up some, but we really want to focus on the businesses and provide them the assistance they need beyond just the grants. So this will be a program where we actually go out and work with businesses to provide them. It could be as simple as, do they need containers? We'll provide them the containers free of charge. Do they need help with zoning? Zoning could be an issue sometimes. Do they need help with a plan? Like if it's an industrial facility, do they have special equipment to compact the cardboard or the plastic? So that's where we would step in and we'll help them out with that. Jim, you can go on to the next one. And then the last thing I wanted to present that's really different about this plan, and we're the first one in the state of Ohio to do this, we realize that as good as we do, there are populations that we might be missing. An example would be the drop-offs. So the drop-offs require that you have a car or a vehicle to get that material there. How can we do these programs for people who may not have that opportunity? So that's one of the things this plan's looking at is, how do we bring more people into the fold? Part of that started with our policy committee. We didn't have a very diverse policy committee, so we've already started doing that. And we're also looking at ways to improve our drop-off program. So the other would be household hazardous waste. We usually have a one-day drop-off. Again, people have to drive there. This 2022 was on the west side, and we try and alternate that. Now we're going to try and go to a model where there's always locations open, and they can take it to their community. So in the future, we may work with you. Whitewater, we're probably going to wait just because you're a smaller community. We're going to try it in a few communities this year, see how it works. If it's a success, we'll roll it out, and it's part of this plan. So we'll keep you updated on that too. And Jim, I think that's pretty much all I have as far as the big picture items, because like I said, it's 300 pages. But that's why I'm here. I wanted to make sure if you had any questions or concerns. This will come to you probably, like I said, the policy committee meets in May 1st actually, they just decided. So we'll probably reach out to your administration for a resolution to ratify this plan in May, would be my guess at this point. And like I said, you're the last community. We've been out doing this since October of last year, making sure all the communities are aware of what the plan has.
Yeah, thank you. It's very informative. You have any questions or anything?
I
Trustee
don't
Burke?
have any direct questions. I do have questions,
Sure.
but they're a little more in depth than I want to go through right now, but
Okay, you're always welcome to, Michelle Baltz is the solid waste manager, but you're always welcome to contact me as well, and we'll be happy to help you out as much as we can.
okay, thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and as it unfolds, we may have more questions as it starts unfolding down the road in May or something.
Honestly, I mean, this is new territory for
Sure.
us in some ways as well. I'm sure you're referring to
No,
Bond Road.
I
and-
appreciate it. It's
Yep.
good information.
All right, well, happy that you had me here, and thanks, kudos to your administration again. It's a pleasure working with them, and I look forward to working with you more in the future. All right,
Thanks-
thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will jump right into our township reports, and Chief, do you want to go ahead and go first on your township report?
Okay, our run totals for the month of February 2023, we had 61 EMS details with 63 patients. 46 of those were transported and 43 fire details, which gives us a total of 104 runs for the month of February and 221 details for the year so far. I'll skip through the next section unless you have any questions specifically about any of those topics there. Our staffing for the month of February, there were no station closures and 100% of our shifts were covered with our township paramedics. And as always, we're still utilizing WestJet, as we always have, to back up our paramedic coverage if we only have one paramedic on duty. We have one part-time applicant waiting to interview, and that will happen tomorrow morning. Part-time testing process has been scheduled for April 9th. Interested applicants can contact me via email or stop in one of the stations to pick up an application. The deadline to return the applications will be March 31st of 2023. And we're getting into that time of the year, open burning. Ohio Revised Code Section 1503.18 prohibits open burning during the months of March, April, May, October, and November between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. This ban includes burning of yard waste, trash, and debris, even in a proper burn barrel. During spring, wildlife danger is high. Wildlife danger is high before plants have a chance to turn green, and in the fall, fire danger is high due to the abundance of dry leaves and dead grass. Warm, windy weather in both seasons also contribute to elevated fire risk. Always be sure to use proper burn barrel or proper protection with garden hose when you're burning anything during the legal hours outdoors. And we have been subjected to some of those open burns getting out of hand and causing several acres of wooded fires over the last several months. So just to kind of go on a little further, the EPA Southwest Ohio Air Quality regulates all the open burning. They're a division of the EPA. We do not issue burn permits from the fire department anymore. That is all done through Ohio Southwest Air Quality. And some of the things that can never be burned at any time are food waste, dead animals, and materials containing rubber, grease, asphalt, or anything made from petroleum. So some other restrictions that have to be followed. Fires must be more than 1,000 feet from a neighbor's inhabited building. No burning when air pollution alert, warning, or emergency is in effect. Fire and smoke cannot obscure visibility on the roadway, railways, or airfields. No waste generated off the premises may be burned. And that's one of the big ones, is you can't bring yard waste from outside of your property. And we see a lot of that around here, and we try to stay on top of it, but it is a challenge. And no burning within a village or city limits or other restricted areas. So if anybody has any questions, epa.ohio.gov is a resource, and also the Southwest Ohio Air Quality website, or you can contact the fire department, and we can try to answer your question, or at least get you into the right area for the answers. And then I just included a little flyer on the back of that regarding the fire laws, open burning, and stuff like that. So really, that's all I have from last month. It was kind of a quiet month, so unless you have any questions.
I do, Chief, and you may have already answered this question, but if somebody is doing this burning, who does somebody call, like, immediately?
Then call 911.
Just go ahead and call
Yeah,
911.
call
on
911.
that?
Yeah, that's going to be the fastest and easiest way to get in contact with us. I know we've had neighbors call the station, or residents call the station directly, and you're
Right.
taking a chance that we're not there. It's always best just to call 911. And also, it'll put it on record that you called. If there's any issues down the
Correct.
road, there is a record of the call. We always take a fire report and stuff like that when we're there. I know we've had some of these neighbor disputes over the years, and a lot of that a lot of that is necessary for the process to take place if there's going to be any citations, warnings, or fines or anything.
No,
So,
totally agree.
yeah.
Yes,
So the best way is just call 911.
yep. It's a good reference. Just want to make sure we had that out there.
Yep.
With
Okay.
the hours of no burning between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., that still allows for a campfire or a driveway fire, correct?
Well, that is a good question, and I'm going to have to get clarification on that, because it says, even in like an approved container or a barrel, that there's no burning between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So
Right, but-
it does say open burning. It doesn't say recreational fires, but I can look and get the answer on that, just for
But
clarification.
after 6 p.m.,
After 6 p.m., you're fine.
you're still fine for a campfire?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
You're welcome.
thank you.
I don't have anything else. Thanks, Chief.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll jump right into, Josh, you want to give your maintenance report?
Good evening.
Good evening, Josh.
Our annual spring cleanup day is scheduled for April the 29th from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. or until full. I have scheduled 2 tire dumpsters with Keep Cincinnati Beautiful to be dropped off on April the 28th, along with 10 general trash containers from Cincy Disposal and a donated scrap container from Elizabethtown Recycling. Once again, Jason over there at Elizabethtown Recycling is going to donate a dumpster, so I'd like to thank him for that also. I'll be getting the mowers ready in the next few weeks, along with the rest of the equipment for the upcoming spring and summer months to maintain the township properties. Fingers crossed I can take them salt trucks apart, put the dump truck back together. The Harrison Avenue issue, I'm still waiting to hear back from the Ohio Department of Transportation on whether they can, will, or can't do anything on that. And as soon as I have any information, I'll be sure to pass it on to the board. Also, with that cleanup, we will not be accepting, I didn't put it in here, but we're not accepting any kind of paints, oils, gas, any kind of flammable liquid, things like that, just like the past years.
Or batteries.
Or batteries, correct.
What will they do, Josh? I think last year you did not have to wrap furniture and plastic? Are they going back to that? How are they going to do that?
We don't have to wrap anything.
We don't
Gotcha,
have to
okay.
wrap, and we can
Yeah.
also accept mattresses.
Yep.
Without
The only thing that
wrapping?
hurts without wrapping it is if you get a rainy day,
Right,
your tonnage goes up because it sits there and saturates all that
Yep.
material. So it kind of helps, but
yeah.
it's a hit or
Fortunately-
miss.
Fortunately, though, our dumpsters, most of them will get dumped before noon that day. The early ones will all get
Yeah.
pulled out and dumped
Right.
still
right.
that day. Yes.
How many cars
It's personal use, no commercial drop off. So it has to be within reason, personal cleanup.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely bring 2 to 4.
Yeah.
That's all I have,
Okay. You got
unless you have anything for me.
I don't have anything else.
don't-
Thank you.
No,
Thanks.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, next on here, we have the community center. I will go ahead and read that. So this is our attendance at the community center between February 13th, 2023 to March 10th of 2023. Euchre during the weekdays was 110. Euchre on Friday nights was 133. Chair volleyball was 48. Bluegrass 147. Country music 36 for a total of 474. As far as rentals, for March, the shelter is still closed and the center has 3. In April, the shelter is still closed and the center has 1. Just a reminder, if anybody has any new programs that they would like to include at the center, please reach out to Carolyn. Her number is 513-367-6046. Anything, Willie, about the center?
have anything to add.
Okay. We're moving right along. Let's go into committee reports. The Whitewater Township Regional Water and Sewer. Jim, I guess that would be you.
That's me. So we did move our regularly scheduled meeting for this month from the 4th Tuesday to the 3rd Tuesday. And that'll be here tomorrow night at this location. Also tomorrow night, letters have gone out to property owners along State Route 128. And we'll have the first of probably 3 informational meetings so that landowners can find out what we're doing about acquiring easements for the sewers down 128. That'll start at 6 o'clock tomorrow night here. Those letters have been out, so we're hoping that a lot of people will be able to come. We're planning at least one more weeknight and maybe one Saturday, although most of the properties are business, so we're not sure about that Saturday date and the need for that. So that's probably the main thing going on with the sewers. As you know, because Doug resigned from that board at the recommendation of our township attorney about a year ago. And so we've been operating with 4 people on a 5-person board since then. Last month, Tim McDonald let us know that he's going to be traveling more to see his family, and he tendered his resignation to the Sewer District Board. So we're now down to 3 members, so we would like to get that advertised, get it out on our website, and have people send letters of interest and or a resume to us here at the Township office. That those 2 positions will be filled by the Township Board of Trustees. They appoint the Sewer Board. And
No, I mean, I agree. So the Water Sewer Board will have 2 open positions, and that will be filled by residents of Whitewater Township, obviously, so if
you do have to be a resident, that's a
you do-
requirement.
You do have to be a resident of Whitewater Township, so if anybody has an interest, or you know of somebody, please, that is a very important board. That board deals with our future of Whitewater Township, to be honest with you. And if anybody wants to really get involved in Whitewater Township, that is a good avenue to start. I know Jim gave me my start, maybe 25, 30, I don't even know how long it's been, at least 25 years ago. So, I do, Jim, I think we need to move on that and get that advertised, Peggy, somehow, some way. And that's two positions. So if anybody has an interest, it's definitely interesting on that water sewer board. It really is.
Now, the interesting thing is I sat down and started to write up something we could put in an ad in the Harrison Press, and something quick and easy to read on our
Right.
website. And all of a sudden, it got to be like a page and a half long,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
what the sewer board is doing is really helping drive the economic development and the
Yeah.
tax base for the township. So Don Smith, who is our board president, and I worked on that, and I've got to work on it a little bit more, but we'll have something ready to go out
Yeah.
by the end of the week.
that is the future of Whitewater Township, without a doubt. With that, Jim, I'm going to go ahead, because right after, I want you to continue on this, is right after that, we have economic development. I know there's a meeting set up for tomorrow. I don't know if you want to kind of lead it. I'm going to try to make it as soon as I can. Obviously, I got to get out of there early as well, so.
Yeah. So in Doug's defense, this meeting was originally set up for last week when he could make it, and
Right.
there's an organization called Ready Cincinnati that helps match businesses that are looking for a place to locate, and properties that are available. So we're going to be meeting with the folks from Cincinnati Ready and Horse Equipment Services out at the old driving range on Furlong, just to take a look at the site and let them know what's going to happen there and see if they have anybody that might be interested in something. Horse Equipment Services is building their building right now. They plan to be moved in June or July of this year. So they're filling the old lake in that was the borrow pit for the interstate. So the property won't all be available at one time, but we're kind of excited about that. We've also been in contact with the Port Authority on a couple projects and a couple other developers. So I'm kind of stealing your thunder on the rest of it.
No, you're good. It goes back to, that's why it is so important. Anybody that has an interest in that water sewer board, that board has to be full. Because a lot is happening all the way down State Route 128, right into Miami Town, right at that intersection. A lot is happening, and we need board members. We need help, and Whitewater Township needs to step up because it's coming, and we need folks that are going to sit. We can't go to two on the board, or we're going to lose it.
Well, it's a 5-person board, so even though there's only 3 people as members right now, it takes 3 out of the 5 to have a quorum for a meeting.
Right.
The reason our meeting was moved from the 4th Tuesday to the 3rd Tuesday is because Peggy and I will be in Columbus at the State Auditors Conference next week, so I wasn't available for that meeting, and since we're down to 3 people, can't do Zoom meetings anymore. So that's why the meeting had to be moved to tomorrow. So if we had 5 people, we'd only need 3 of the 5 to have a quorum. So,
And we're very fortunate that we can still have Jim on the board, so, and I know some of you folks come to plenty of these meetings, so if there's anybody that's young or anybody that just wants to get involved, the meetings are not that long, and it's not like you're gonna have a huge crowd, and you occasionally will, but, they're usually pretty quick, but it's so important. I can't stress that enough. Yes?
What time is the meeting at Furlong?
that's just Cincinnati Ready and the developer and us at 2
Yeah.
o'clock, but it's not a public meeting. So,
Yeah, that's why I won't be there, and Willie, because you can't do that.
Yeah, it's-
That's why each one of us has a role, so, yeah.
yeah, we've actually, and this has been years ago, when the property where Kroger's was being developed, we actually held a meeting at the corner of Washington and State Route 128. Had a public meeting that we called to order on a day that was probably 0 out and snowing, because the trustees had to look at the site with the developer, and everybody needed to be there to make an informed decision. So it's difficult when, it's good that there's a sunshine law and that, trustees can't get together without it being a meeting, but sometimes it really hinders us when you only have a 3-person board, because 2 of the 3 can't get together, so.
Okay, you got any questions? We just kind
Not
of
to add to
combine.
those, not.
And you're going to hear us combine more of the water and sewer and that economic development, because they're going to go hand in hand, especially as things start getting developed down State Route 128, which the process has already started, so. Next, we have We Thrive, and Willie, you want to touch
Yeah,
on that?
The We Thrive group did have I'll call it an informal meeting. I know Sharon spoke with Mindy, and Peggy, I think, was unavailable. I was also unavailable, but I spoke with them over the phone, just going over details for the cleanup. Just a reminder on that cleanup on April 29th, right? Yeah, April 29th. If you can stop by, help us out, give help with the group over, and we're once again going to place a dumpster in Miami Town like it was last year. If we can just have help manning that, and I'll be here. And and then the week prior is the litter getter program, where Sharon Lutz from Green Acres donates the grabbers and bags, and gets a crew together and organizes cleaning up the roadsides. So anybody interested in that, contact Sharon at Green Acres. It's on her website, her email address, or you can email me or call Peggy, and we'll get you hooked up. We need help.
Okay, solid waste, did you have something?
No.
I think that got covered earlier.
Yeah, solid, I was getting ready to say,
Brad kinda
solid
covered
waste was already covered by Brad. I was getting ready to say that, but you looked at me like, uh-oh. And West Jad, anything new on West Jad?
I have nothing new to report on West Jad. If anybody has any questions or just wants to attend a West Jad meeting, we are having the West Jad meeting April 6th at 5:30 p.m. Regular
Yeah.
quarterly meeting, so
They run pretty smooth, they do.
West Jad's been doing real well.
Right.
Things have been going real smooth, with the exception of trying to get vehicles. Everything's been going pretty well.
Okay. We will move into old business. And first under old business is the limited home rule ballot initiative. It's a informational meeting dates. What did we have on that? Do you have something written down on that, Jim?
No, we actually discussed it last month.
Right.
You and I talked about it. It was, we talked about having 2
Like a
to
town
3
hall meeting or
town hall
something?
type
Yeah.
meetings. And we were going to try to pick a couple dates and try to get Brian Pacheco, our attorney, out for maybe the first one. So I don't know if we can do that without Guy, or if we want to do it anyway.
I mean, I'm thinking the first date would not be until probably, well, it's gotta be on, November is the election. I'm thinking it's gonna be maybe early May. I mean, could we wait? I'd rather Guy be here before we made a,
So here, I didn't write this down for this month, but August. So to be on the ballot in November, has to be to the Board of Elections by August?
probably
September,
early
October.
August.
Yeah. by
Early.
Yeah, by the 1st. So we talked about, Brian said we have to do 2 readings, so that's,
why I was
we'd have to
thinking
do the
early
readings
May.
July and June, so.
If we
yeah,
did an
May.
early May, then we could possibly do, if we had to, a June or an early July,
Yeah,
but at
before you
least
do
an
the
early
final vote.
May. I mean, if you wanted to do 3, you're probably going to want to do,
Is it
One-
possible that our first meeting, we could have it right, at 6 o'clock on the night of our April meeting? Start our April meeting at 6 instead of 7 and have it then? Because we know all three of us are, all of
I mean,
us are free.
I'm going to say, I don't see why not, but that would be an attorney question. Can we make that
You can-
announcement that we're going to do it?
Yeah, you can schedule a town hall meeting before the regular meeting.
See, that's what I mean before, so
The problem is if it runs
Right.
over,
that's,
if you get a lot of people with a lot of good
that
questions.
first meeting's going to run over, so. So I think you're thinking, can we just do it during this meeting? You'd have to do it beforehand. My fear, I'm not a fan of that because it's going to run over, and I don't want to cut people in the audience short so we can jump into our trustee meeting.
You know, and if you have a regular set meeting, so it has to be at that time.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the second or third, we could
Yeah.
entertain that. That first one, we just do not know what we're
Yeah,
going to get.
I'm just trying to move it
No,
as
I-
sooner the better because, if we have a reason that something falls apart and we can't make one of the meetings, or I just don't want to get in under the gun at the end of the time to scramble to get this taken care of.
What day of the week we looking to do it? Was that said?
No.
Okay.
And the first Wednesday. And Euchre's here Friday.
Well, we would have to bump them if we have to do a Thursday. I'm just thinking Thursdays
Yeah.
are probably going to be best for me, but, I mean, I got a lot going on.
Well,
Early May.
what time is Bluegrass? 7 o'clock?
Yeah, they start setting up by 6.
Well, it's not like we couldn't have it in one of the back rooms,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I just think, I would like for at least trustee Shively to be here when we set a date. I think we can get dates out to him early, tell him sometime in early May, I'm talking that first week of May, possibly. And then that gives us, if we have to do something in June, if we did mid-June, now you're still looking a month and a half away.
Yeah.
But if we did at least early May, still gives trustee Shively to be here at the next meeting. We vote in the day, we're all here. But if Peggy, you could give him a heads up if we came up with some kind of dates, what might work best. I think if we just went ahead and maybe said, look at that very first full week of May. The first full week of May, I don't have a calendar sitting in front of me.
Is Bluegrass, is country music on Wednesday that week? Okay, so they're here on the 3rd and the 4th.
3rd and the 4th. Yeah,
One of those days better for you?
no.
Okay. How about the next week?
No, none of those. The only day I'm really even honestly available would be on a Thursday. I mean, I'd have to look at all, I coach, and it's going to be tough. I'd rather not just bail on that if we could find another day outside of me and my coaching assignments. Right.
Yeah, we've had,
Well, let's do this, let's, so they don't have to hear all this, let's get some dates out. First and second week of May, Peggy, let's look at that first full week of May, first full week of the second week of May, and then see what who can do what days and where we can do it. I think that'd be the best bet.
Okay. I'll give us a chance to check with Brian, see what his schedule is.
Yep, give us a little bit of time with Brian as well. Yep.
Okay.
and also that first Thursday in May, it's the night following country music night. I know attendance is off for the Bluegrass. Maybe they maybe we could displace them for a week. I don't know that they would mind. We'd ask them.
Yeah, yeah. But as a township, we got to do what we need to do first.
Yeah, right, right.
Trump's bluegrass, I'm sorry, nothing against the bluegrass folks, but we got to do what we need to do for the township first.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I don't think they'll have any problem
Okay.
with it.
Okay. All right, so the limited home rule, we have something on that. The Miami Town Hall window replacement. You want to bring anything up to speed on that, Willie? I saw there was a new,
You know, I did a little research where, you know, we were talking between the single hung, double hung, you know.
right,
They can be single hung. Single hung in my research just means that it's only one side of the window can open and it only has a half screen. Single hung doesn't mean that it's only one pane. You can still have a single hung double pane window. So, you know, just so long as it's double pane or triple pane and single or double hung doesn't matter to me, or in the case of some of the windows, they can't open at all because of the way they're made. I think there's, one window that way, or?
Guy was talking last week that the bid that I got from Windows Plus, they were all picture windows, so they didn't open. And he wanted a bid for double hung. So that's what I submitted for double hung. And I mean, I don't care which way we go, but I would like, if we could, to have a solid, like, picture window for the two front, because it's the foyer, there's two exit doors there, and it would just look better. And we would, like I said, would never open them, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've been knocking this around for a long time, and, you know, I know you're wanting to get things together so you can see if you can get
Yeah.
your donations and
Donations
people to
together.
sponsor windows. I'm at the point where as long as they're a double pane and on the windows that are able to be opened, a double hung would be better for cleaning purposes and,
Well, you guys just tell me. I mean, Gilkey, I think they have like 4 panes or something, and they had a heat lamp. It's like, it was overkill.
yeah, we don't,
So the other two, Windows Plus or Tri-State. Tri-State is double pane. Windows Plus is triple. At least that's what he said. So, I mean, and there is a big price difference, but I don't care. I just want to hit the ground running, and because these windows are really disintegrating. They're pretty bad. So,
And I think the other thing that Guy had brought up was Gilkey was going to install the windows themselves. Tri-State.
Tri-State, yeah, and Windows Plus, they install them. Tri-State sells the windows, Buff Contracting, and puts them in. And Buff Contracting's been doing it for 30 years. He guarantees his windows, but they're double pane. Windows Plus is triple pane. So,
I don't know that we would see the advantage of the triple versus double.
except it would be quieter inside, but when we meet, it's in the evening, and it's pretty quiet. It's during the day when the trucks run that are really bad.
So, for me, I guess what you're wanting from us is the approval to get started on getting window
Donations.
donations, and I personally have no problem moving forward just so long as we're putting double pane or better and single hung or better wherever possible,
Okay.
picture windows where necessary, and move on with the project.
Okay. So I can start getting donations, and somewhere in the middle, we're going to decide on a company? Or should we just decide on it tonight? Because I promised these, I mean, I'm going to let all three people know what we've decided.
So, again, my question is, you have these bids, and most of these bids are 30 days.
Well, no, they're through May. I got them all through May.
And we have,
And if I have to, I'll get them to extend it.
But if these bids are good through May, to me, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the board, obviously. To me, I'm okay with, as long as we go with the parameters that I suggested I would prefer, move forward with it, and then we'll pick out the company once we see if the township would have to put forth any, if you're having the donations for everything, as long as it fits the guidelines that I'd like to see, if you get all the windows sponsored, I'm okay with moving forward with what you recommend.
Okay. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking, if you got the money, if you were going to put the
Yeah.
money in,
Yeah, if you've got the money
I mean, I'm
and,
okay with that. Go out and see what sponsors you get. I mean, I think that's, Peggy, it's a good question. How long do we have here? And before we decide on money and actually who to go with, again, I'd like for Trustee Shively to be sitting here, but I don't have an issue with what Trustee Pope's saying. Go get your money.
Okay.
Go get your sponsors.
but Diana, you saying you need to let these guys know?
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, I guess I can put them off a little bit and say we're still deciding. But, by the end of May,
The bids he did good till May, they gotta stay behind it, really.
oh yeah, and they will. I mean, they've all been
And I
really
think it
good.
gives you some time to come in,
Yeah.
next month, say, here's what we got so far, sponsorship-wise. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's harder for me to raise money. I can't bat my eyelashes
I
like
know,
I could
right.
40 years ago.
Yeah,
It's not working for me anymore.
yeah, I want to see how this moves along for you. I mean, I'm all in support of it, but I mean, it's,
Well,
It's
it's a community
difficult, but I'm
building,
glad
and
you're-
it's our most historic building, and
yeah.
people should step up for it, I think.
No, and I'm
I
with
think they
Willie.
will.
We'll make something happen. We just need to kind of see where you're at. I think, I mean, if it's good to the end of May, I'd move forward, and that's what you're kind of saying. Start see what kind of sponsors you start coming up
Okay.
with. At least if you get an idea, I mean, you know,
I'll
if it's
find
moving
out
the
pretty
right
quick,
direction,
yeah.
you'll know right away.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah,
it's
and-
looking right.
and in the interim, in between now and our April meeting, keep Peggy posted because she sends us emails out, or you can email us directly.
Yeah.
And give
Right.
us an update and, how you're feeling, how many you think you've got sponsored, how many you think you can get sponsored.
Oh, I'll just get the checks from them, and I'll put it in an account,
Yeah.
and
And then it would give us a better idea if there's a shortfall somewhere or wherever it's at, then we can discuss.
Yeah, we could discuss if we could try
agree with
to
that.
come up with some funding or
okay.
what we would have
You're
to.
talking single, double, triple pane, I don't care, whatever you think.
To me,
it's gonna be.
Put a
I've
window in there.
read your bids and I researched them and as
A lot
long
of
as
the
they're
windows
double
are pretty
pane.
much,
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
done good work on it. I'm just want to see you keep doing all that work as long as we,
The only concern that Josh Fine both had was the one where the one guy sold the windows,
the other one did that, yeah.
you're always going to go have a complaint. If there's an issue, let's go blame the he's been through that many times.
okay.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of leaning towards Windows Plus.
That's
He's
going to mean
been
a lot. what
super,
you're-
and,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to mean a lot what you bring to us.
And it's pretty much in the ballpark
Yeah.
of where. Okay.
No, you're doing a good job with it. Just-
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to donate in this room tonight?
All right, let me see where I'm at here.
Thank you, Diane.
Yes, thank you. Okay, what about, you know what, under old business, I do, Willie, and I don't know if you have any, and maybe this was addressed, anything new about the State Route 128 property?
I
Is
put
there
a
anything to add on that? Can we, and I'm just asking, to me, that's going to be old business?
I put a call in today to Amy Bancroft at the port,
Yes.
and she did not get back with me as of yet, but I am
And I
on
thought
it.
that's
and-
where that was at.
Yes, I am on that and staying on that. I just, she was too busy and couldn't get back with me.
Right.
But, yeah, but it's, that can is not being kicked.
Can we put that, leave that under old business?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Something,
I left it under,
just something,
yeah, I left it under executive session, but, so
yeah.
you don't
I
need
mean,
to.
Yeah, I'm just
I don't think
thinking,
we have anything since Amy didn't have anything to discuss.
yeah. Is that fair? Leave,
Yeah, I think it's fair to have, keep it in old business. I think we still should discuss an executive session
tonight?
tonight.
Okay. Let's go into any other old business?
I don't have anything else, no,
Anything
sir.
in new business?
I-
I do not have anything.
I don't have anything in new business either.
We have public comments. We have Justin Weber. Justin, you want to,
You already know the issues. How are you guys tonight?
good.
Yeah, so same issues as before. 612 Hooven, we still have all those mattresses, tires piled up in the backyard. It's looking like it's done. And basically, same thing for over at 611 Hooven with Andrew Miller. We're still having issues, tires, everything else, but a lot of it's legal issues, which we're going to be talking to Sergeant May next week. I've already gotten in contact with him. Me, Luana, and George will all be meeting up with him one night for dinner. Same issues, but we got vehicles blocking our driveways, all from 611. And George gets to go over that too. But my main concern is it's not like a dump. Just like that site on Route 128. I'm assuming you guys are talking about the one next to the drive-through down there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
turning into that now. We got squatters hanging around our properties. Still got drugs coming up and down Hooven. Like Doug, I know you live in Hooven, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What is it like where you live? Do you got problems like we do?
What's that?
Do you have problems like we do, squatters, drugs going through your yard all the time?
No.
Okay. Have you been up to Hooven lately, up on top of the hill?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so you see what we're going through and all that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that people are at least seeing
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I wish as a trustee, I could do something as
Okay.
far as making them do it, because I would. And
Yeah.
this is why we're looking at that limited home rule
Okay.
on that ballot, to try to give us some teeth.
Yeah.
But it's no different than me just living in a town. I mean,
Yeah,
I would have
I'm
to
not
go
trying to
through-
blame it on you guys or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could do more,
Yeah.
because I would, as a trustee.
You
but
don't feel
there's-
safe there, like I even told you guys in the past.
Yeah,
I carry when I'm out in my front yard doing yard work.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do that in my front yard, but
yeah, make sure you just, make the phone calls you need to make. I mean, and-
we try with the departments, the
Yeah.
sheriffs, but sometimes we feel like they get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
We watched one of the deputies walk inside Andrew Miller's garage one day, hanging out with them for about 10 minutes.
yeah,
Doesn't look good when they start doing that. But I'm just letting you know too.
Yeah.
And I've already mentioned this when I first walked in today. Luana Corman's already kind of dealt with that one just too now, so start expecting her at meetings. She just gave me permission to tell you guys that, so.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. And she said if you guys got any questions, you guys all have her numbers, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel your pain. I
Yeah, it's not
stopped.
good.
I saw Mr. Getz here
But
3 or 4
basically the
weeks
people
ago.
who
I
we're
drive
having
by.
problems with, they're squatters.
Yeah,
They
I
don't own
drive
the
by all the
properties,
time,
they-
and unfortunately, as a trustee, I have no more power to do anything than as a neighbor or as a community resident. And that's, I feel for you, and I'll try to help you however I
understand.
can.
I'm not blaming you guys. I don't go around talking, saying bad things about you.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I
got-
hope this limited home rule, if we can get
Yeah.
something through, can kind
That's-
of help some of these
Like,
situations.
I got harassed by a neighbor the other day because I own an acre of land on top of that hill. I was cutting down a tree that could possibly fall on my house. Some guy named Charlie Davis, you ever heard of him? Have you heard of him at all?
I don't,
I'm asking Doug since he
Yeah,
lives in Hooven.
I don't know.
He came over and started staring me down top of my bottom of the hill in front of my driveway, blocking me off because apparently someone told him that I was cutting trees down other properties. I'm being harassed for taking care of my property,
Yeah.
so.
And again, I can't help you with that one either.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that Lawn Foreman is going to get involved in this now, so.
At least
Yeah,
he-
okay.
At least Charlie was watching for you.
Yeah, but he didn't have the
They
nerve
can-
to walk up and talk to me about it.
Well,
He just stared me down, like,
he might have thought you were part of the bad group up there too. He might not. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying he might not have
We're just
realized
fed up
you're,
with it, and it's gonna get a lot worse this summer, so,
yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you.
George Getz? Come on up, George. What you got,
Good evening.
George?
I want to thank the chief there for what he said about the fire stuff, because across the street, I took some pictures down to Hooven at the fire department, and they had black smoke coming up across the street that was almost covering the neighbor's house. And I took the picture down and that, and they says, there's nothing we can do but tell them to come up and put it out, which
Yeah.
I understand it. They says they can't do nothing. Police department can't do nothing either. But everything is still going on. It's been going on for 2.5 years over there. I've got pictures with them no parking signs there. They park on the street every day. I've got pictures where they block my driveway. And something's going to have to be done some way or something, some way or another is going to have to be done about this. Because if I had to get out of my drive in a hurry, I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And I've got pictures showing where he was parking, and it's constantly all the time. Just yesterday, they had a neighbor or one of their friends came up with a high performance car, parked across the street where if I backed out, I would have hit it. He went down to the bottom of the hill and he literally burnt the tires up on it. Come back and they laughed about it. And he parked back across the street from me again. By the time you call the officers, they gotta have a police scanner because they move the cars. Now, I don't know what's going to have to be done, but summer's coming and it's going to get worse. So, I mean, that's just an update on what's coming up here. But these pictures here I got, if you'd like to see them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just so you know, that's why I asked Chief about building fires for you and Justin too. And
In this one here, you just can't see the front of it. If I back my car out, I won't get that car.
Are they in a no parking?
It's a fire, I had Josh put up no parking signs there for fire. Says on there. And every day, somebody in that house is parking on the street.
yeah.
In fact, here this Friday, he backed in, had a trailer, he backed in just in front of me.
Can you talk at the mic so everybody can kind of hear you? Or we'll kind of lose you.
I said, just Friday here, he had a little small trailer. He hauled one of them tractors, lawnmowers in. He backed into Justin's driveway, pulled out on the road, blocked the whole street. A friend of his pulled in, raised his hood, and he went down to see what the problem was and left his car parked in the middle of the street with that trailer on. Now, I don't know what's going to have to be done, but something's going to have to be done sooner or later. Now, if they're going to keep it up, hey, when I couldn't even get in there with my trailer if I had to back in the house. I'm just going to park on the street to unload my tractor or my ATV. And if they're blocking my driveway, I'm going to start blocking theirs. I hate to do it, but something's going to have to be done. And if we call the police, it don't do no good because they either go in the house, lock the doors, don't answer the doors, or they move the vehicles.
You know, George, that's why I asked our chief, Whitewater Township, that question about fires. Who do they call? Because I know it's going to come up, and I've seen it as well, and people have stopped and asked me, and I thought maybe I was telling them wrong. I would call 911 because I would want it on record. And, you know, I mean, other than that, you can't call me.
I know.
There's nothing I can do personally.
I've got the phone number strictly for Hooven and for Miamitown.
Yeah.
If I see them burning something over there that's illegal, I'm going to call them.
Okay.
On that there. Well,
That's why, you know.
You're taking a chance that if we're not in the station, nobody's going to answer.
yeah.
Right.
If you call 911,
It also simultaneously dispatches fire.
If we call 911, it goes over the intercom. They got to have a police scanner, and they're going to do everything to get away from us so you don't catch them. Everything they do is illegal.
That's what folks like that do, yeah.
Yeah, everything. They pulled in an add-on trailer for a trailer they got over there.
Yeah.
10-foot wide. And now that's illegal being on the road 10-foot wide without a sign on it.
Yep.
They done it because they know they can get by with it. Until something gets done and gives them a citation or something, they're going to maybe straighten up.
Yep.
on
Well,
that.
again, this is, actually, you guys coming in so much has been the front for the limited home rule trying to get on the ballot. That one and other properties that we cannot control, that
Yeah.
we can't do anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you got, everybody sees State Route 128, that's right in the middle of Whitewater Township. And that's not the only one, they're all over the place, and that's what you guys are out looking all the time.
Yeah,
And these are the things we're trying to make moves on the best we can.
As
And-
far as the nuisance properties of the trailers, the mobile homes, that's the limited home rule falls. Menacing part of it, it sounds like it's escalating to the point of where, to me, I would take it to a civil matter. I'd contact legal counsel and go at them that way. And I think, they'll go after the landowner, and I think that you'd have the best results doing that.
Well, the landowner is his brother. He's squatting on the property. He probably
Well,
don't
but
pay
it's
nothing.
still,
Yeah.
you consult legal and they take action on it, becomes a civil matter. I think it raises awareness quicker to the landowner, because the landowner doesn't hear any of this. He's not at any of these meetings. So,
But I don't know what we're going to do with this no parking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting to the habit where, they're blocking driveways and everything else.
Okay. All right. Well, can we hang on to these?
I like to keep them from my own information.
Okay. Absolutely. Jim, can you set those up there?
Doug.
Hooven Road at the top of the hills, to where dead ends.
Yeah, for the long loop, yes. I live in the house in Sheepford Avenue, and he lives next door.
Yeah, it's at the top of the hill where Hooven Road ends at the top. Yeah.
We get more traffic on our street than
Yeah. All right, George, anything else?
That's all. We just need some help from somebody,
Okay, all right.
Thank you, sir.
some way or another.
And
Thank
then,
you.
we don't have any other public comments listed, Jim. And go into executive session. So I am going to make a motion for, and I'm just going to read what you had listed here. I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session at 8:15 to consider the purchase of real property in the township and to discuss the compensation of public employees in the fire department,
We have to do them separate.
separate.
So just.
Sorry, we're just going to go in to consider the purchase of real property in the township. And we're going to do that at 8:15. Anybody else? I do want, invite Jim Brett in, and do we want anybody else?
Peg,
Peggy. We want our administrator Peggy. Anybody else?
that should do it.
And I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Voice vote?
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. We'll be back. Okay, I will make a motion to come out of executive session at, what time do you got?
8:47.
At 8:47. There were no decisions made in executive session, so I'll make that motion to come out at 8:47.
I'll second that motion.
Voice vote?
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. So we are out of executive session. We have on here to discuss the compensation of public employees to the fire department.
I added that just in case they were ready, and I think Peggy said they're probably not ready. I wanted to put it on the agenda in case we wanted to do it.
Just to be prepared. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we will table that part. All right. Any comments from the board? Mr. Pope?
I do not have any comments that we haven't already covered.
I do not either. Happy spring, everybody. Today's the first day of spring.
I do one quick comment. Just a quick reminder, if anybody sees someone who is involved to seriously, or wants to be involved in the community, to seriously consider helping us out. Sewer and Water Board, we thrive. Cleanup days, but the Sewer and Water Board is very important. Attend a couple meetings if they're wondering what it is, what it's like, and help us out.
Okay. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
Voice vote?
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. Meeting.